Hey, Logan. Hi. Oh my gosh. I love you. What's up, kitten cats? So today is Tuesday, the 28th of June. As you can see, and by the first clip of my dog, I am back in the old homestead in Ohio. I came back to visit for a little bit since I didn't have any intense obligations, and my mom is retiring tomorrow, so we're gonna party for her retirement. Not really party, just have a retirement ceremony and whatnot. But anyway, I'm about to head to the gym. I've had a couple days off of training, but today I'm super excited because it's my first day of my new programming and I'm just so excited. So basically with this growing season, what I really need to work on, this past competition season we saw that, you know, I can get very, very conditioned. My conditioning was on point this season and I'm very, very happy with that. Now with that, what we need to improve upon, now that we know that I can achieve that level of conditioning, is achieving that same level of conditioning next time, but adding size to my glutes, a bit to my rear delts, my upper hamstrings, and then also working on my adductors. So I am about to dive in, to a hypertrophy program actually, which I have not done in a while. If you guys have been following me since I started YouTube, I've been doing strength programming for over a year, and I'm switching to more hypertrophy programming. And actually, my glute hypertrophy, I'm doing my upper body programming, but my glute hypertrophy program is being done by none other than my bae, FF Robin, and it's amazing. Part of why I went to her, is not just because she's my friend, but because I've seen how her programming is effective both for herself and for her clients. So she's like my glute doctor, and she's also extremely intelligent. Her knowledge of, you know, biomechanics and all of that jazz and really optimizing training for glute growth, like she's extremely intelligent is what I'm getting at. And so with strength programming, that served a purpose, and it's not to say that I'll never do a strength cycle again. However, there was not enough direct glute work in my old programs, and as someone that has continuously needed to work on their glutes, I needed more direct glute work than what I was getting. So I was like, yo, Robin, I'm gonna hit you up. And so we are diving into a hypertrophy program. So if you guys have more questions about that, please leave them below and I will try to answer them. I have my pre-workout in my PE Science bottle, but I have this is high volume. I have 2 scoops of Paradise Cooler High Volume and 1 scoop of the new Sunrise Alphamine, which is delicious. So I'm about to drive to the gym and fire in the glutes. Let's go. Alright, post-workout meal part 1. I have a smoothie bowl with some of this new Tiny Toast cereal, which is so freaking good. Like, you have to try it. I haven't tried the strawberry one, but the blueberry one, definitely recommend. Some of these Kamut Puffs. I took a little tip from Amanda Bucci and tossed these in butter spray and cinnamon and stevia. And then for the smoothie bowl, I used the new chocolate cupcake flavor from PES. And the chocolate cupcake flavor, guys, oh my gosh, it's really good. It's another one of the 1-carb flavors, so I'm super excited. And it's a little bit less sweet than the original milk chocolate, but it's delicious, it's delicate, it tastes like a cupcake, it smells like a cupcake, it's beautiful. And then I told you guys in the last video that I would give you the smoothie bowl recipe, and I never did. So for this, it's just a cup of cashew milk, and yes, it does need to be cashew milk because cashew milk makes it creamier than almond milk or coconut milk or whatever. A ton of ice, like I just use enough ice. What is that? Oh. I just use enough ice to fill whatever bowl I'm gonna be using. And then I only used about a half a scoop of protein in this one, but it can go from the half to a full scoop, and then optional, a little bit of xanthan gum. Xanthan gum makes some people like not happy in their digestive tract because it's a coagulant and it can cause people some issues. So that's something that you have to assess for yourself. But that is part 1, and then part 2 will be coming soon because I like eating as many breakfasts as possible. Alright guys, so I'm about to go lay outside, but I did open up my Snapchat. If you're not following me on Snapchat, why not? I love Snapchat. But I opened up my Snapchat to do a little like Q&A regarding growing season, nutrition, training, whatnot. So I'm going to video record some of those questions that I got snapped and try and answer a few of them either while I'm outside or when I come back inside. I'm not really sure yet. But that's what's happening. Okay, are you gonna help me answer Snapchat questions? Alright guys, so like I mentioned in the previous clip, or one of the clips that's in this video, I don't know, that I opened up my Snapchat to a Q&A today for all things growing season, so here we go. I do want to do a just full competition season recap, as well as kind of reverse diet plans, things of that nature. Why am I speaking so slowly today? But give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment below if that is something you would like to see. I just don't have that together yet because I need to sit down and write things out like I did last season. But I did want to do something pertaining to growing season today, so I figured the Snapchat Q&A would be a good option. So here we go.
Hey I'm wondering what your opinion is on incorporating free meals into your improvement season.
So this is something that I'm going to do a little bit differently than my last prep. And really with a lot of these questions, it's going to be individually dependent. So with free meals, last off season, I just started taking free meals every week right after I competed. I don't think that was optimal, and in hindsight, I wish I would have waited a little bit longer. And another thing with free meals, last off season, I basically, when I would have free meals, I did not do them mindfully. When I look back on it, I would basically try to like keep up with my boyfriend at the time. This little hair is driving me crazy. But I would basically try to like keep up with my boyfriend at the time, who has an extremely fast metabolism and can eat like a bajillion calories and lose weight. And I would try to keep up with that, and it was not comfortable. It was not, I mean, it was fun at the time until I would like feel sick and I put on a lot of fat in a short amount of time. But yeah, it was just not optimal, so that's not happening again. Also because I'm single, so that's definitely not happening again. But anyway, so with free meals, I think that they can be a part of a good program, a good off-season program, or part of a prep program if they're implemented when appropriate. However, immediately post-show, at least for myself, I am not in a position, metabolically, calorically, whatever, to take free meals right now. There's just too many variables going into this reverse, and it was such a long diet that like my metabolism is down-regulated, and so taking free meals where things aren't, you know, tracked and controlled, it's just not the best idea right now. That opens up the doors. First of all, that's a huge variable to add in terms of not having control over caloric intake in such a sensitive time frame. But it's just not the best idea right now. That would open up the doors to put on fat mass really, really quickly, and I'm not trying to do that. So with free meals, they will be implemented at some point, but right now is not the time. So in context, with regards to free meals in this growing season, one of my goals for this growing period is to stay leaner throughout. So like I mentioned, when I took really hard free meals before, I added a lot of fat mass, and that just did not set me up optimally for this prep. So one thing that Nick and I are trying to do is stay a little bit leaner during the growing season, and that'll just set me up better for a better off season. It's also a little bit mentally easier for me to handle than putting on like a ton of fat mass when it's not necessary in terms of muscle growth. So for me, something that would be a bit more optimal than just a free meal where things aren't tracked is a structured refeed where you do have macros that day. They're just higher for that given day. So I think that refeeds are going to be a bit more optimal. Free meals will come into play. They're great for, you know, mental relaxation especially, which is still important, and now is the time to take those. But I think this off season, or I hate the word off season because I'm not off, this growing season, that's what it's called, not off season, but this growing season, refeeds are going to be a bit more optimal than free meals, but free meals will still be incorporated. One thing that people struggle with free meals a lot is just treating it like a free-for-all, and that's kind of what I did last off season. As much as I tried to not do that, I did treat it like a free-for-all. Like, it was very, very unnecessary, and I'm okay with saying that. Like, I screwed up. But in terms of trying to stay a little bit leaner this off season, I keep saying off season, but in terms of trying to stay a little bit leaner this growing season and to put on quality tissue, not just fat, they're going to be put off for a little while, especially right now in the immediate post-show window, but also I feel like erring on the side of refeeds is going to be a bit more optimal.
You're going to be going back to powerlifting / Olympic style training for this growing season, or are you going to stick with the bodybuilding type training?
Questions regarding current programming, kind of like I explained in the beginning of the video, I am not following a strength progression this growing season. And that's for a couple of reasons. So in past growing seasons, first of all, my glutes have always been something I needed to work on. So there was a time and place when strength training was, you know, a good idea to make the improvements that I needed to make. However, I feel like there was always a need for a bit more direct glute hypertrophy work that I just did not get. Like at the end of the day, for a physique competitor, and this is for a physique competitor, squatting and deadlifting is not enough. And I'm gonna ruffle some feathers by saying that, but there needs to be a balance. And, you know, talk to Brett Contreras, talk to Robin, talk to Jeff, where you look at top level competitors, you know, your Ashley Kaltwassers, your Amanda Latonas, people like that. They are not just squatting and deadlifting and following strength progression. So like in past off seasons, when we would enter a new programming cycle, it would be, okay, I'm training to hit a front squat max right now, or a back squat max, or whatever. But right now, the goal needs to be, oh, there comes my dog. But right now, the goal needs to be glute growth. And I personally feel that, what do you think? You need to grow your glutes? Hello. Okay, if you're gonna be here, we gotta sit. We gotta sit down. Lay down. Okay. Oh, there's a boy. All right, I personally feel like that for myself personally. Wow, I suck. A period of hypertrophy needs to take place, not strength training. So that is why I brought on Robin. I need to focus on growth right now, not just strength progression. That's not to say that I'll never do a strength program again, or that you shouldn't do a strength program, but my personal goals, I wanna be a top level bikini competitor. I'm trying to build a pro physique. I need to grow, and I need a hypertrophy phase. And when you think about it, and I talked to Jeff about this a little bit as well, your training needs to be cyclical. Like there need to be periods where you know, focus a little bit more on strength, and then there need to be other periods where you focus a bit more on hypertrophy, because hypertrophy is creating a larger muscle, and in general, a larger muscle is a stronger muscle when you go back into strength programming. And also with Olympic liftings, they asked about that as well. One person did. I just didn't enjoy it anymore. Like when I first started doing it, I absolutely loved it. But then I just stopped enjoying it. So I'm like, if I don't like it, I'm not gonna do it. And people have been like, you were so much cooler when you Olympic lifted. And I'm like, I really don't give a shit about if you think I'm cooler if I'm not doing what I wanna do and building a pro physique, so bye. So that's my little rant about that.
Hi, my question is, when you're going through a growing season, you're putting on some body fat as well. So what are some tips you have for keeping a healthy body image through the whole process?
In your off season, when you're gaining, how do you mentally deal with the extra weight gain without freaking out about it?
How do you transition from dieting to growing again? I'm mentally struggling with seeing the scale go up after just making it go down for so long.
All right, so there were a lot of repeat questions, and I just kind of like streamed them together with regards to body image during the reverse diet period. And this one is really important, and it's really important to me. I don't know, you know, males, you can chime in below, but I feel personally that this is more of a struggle that females have to deal with, a little bit heavier than males have to deal with. When they're growing, I've noticed typically guys are much more excited to grow and be larger than females are, and that's, you know, a societal construct thing, because women are taught to shrink and be smaller. But here's my thoughts on this. I've definitely gone through reverses where it was hard to see the scale go up, and one thing that I always try to remember during those periods is you have to look at the positives, you know. And with body image, this is something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, just churning up in my head the thoughts. But if you struggle with something, so I'm gonna make an analogy. If you struggle with something, say for example you are new to training and you struggle to lift X amount of weight, what do? You practice lifting more to get better at it, to increase your strength. That seems like a no-brainer, right? So if you struggle with body image, you have to put effort into not struggling with body image anymore. You can't just sit there and think, oh, I'm struggling, blah, 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 like, I hate my body. These birds are so chirpy. Sorry, I just noticed that. But you can't just sit there and think, oh, like, I hate my body, I hate gaining weight, yada, yada, yada. You have to actively pursue a healthier mindset. So that's gonna take effort, and that's going to be a frustrating process. And so my advice to you, if you are struggling with that process, is you have to look at the positives of growing. So as a competitor, and that's the context that I provide a lot, because that's what I am as a competitor, and I hope that you can take this if you're not a competitor and apply it to like general overall growth. But when you are prepping for a contest, you are not getting better in terms of tissue addition. You are not growing muscle. You're dieting, you're in a deficit, actually you're losing muscle, so you are not getting better, you're getting leaner. And you are showcasing what you built in your prior off season. So you're not getting better. When you're in your growing period, when you know, your food is going up, your strength is going up, your muscles are growing, yeah, you're adding a little bit of fat, but you are getting better. You are preparing your body for the next time you step on stage, or if you don't compete, the next time you lean down, you are preparing your body for that, and you are growing. Like, just, I don't know if I'm the only one that like gets really psyched out when they think about muscle growth, but I'm like, damn, I'm amazing. I can grow these muscles, and like, that just, it's insane to me. So like, you're getting better when you're growing. You're getting stronger, you're growing more muscle tissue, and just from a quality of life perspective, as a competitor, I've already noticed this and it's only been like a week, you get to enjoy life a little bit more. Obviously you get to enjoy more food because your food goes up during this time period, but you get to just enjoy, like, I'm still very meticulous when I track in my off seasons, but I'm also not afraid to, you know, guesstimate food a little bit more. When I'm in prep, especially when I'm in close to a show, I am making all of my food to the T, to the gram, and like, that's kind of what you have to do. But when you're in your off season, if you want to like guesstimate going out to Chipotle or whatever, like, and not weigh every single thing and just use your better judgment, you can do that. You get to spend a little bit more time with your family and friends. Your energy is better, your mood is better, your hormones are coming back into balance. So like, you have to be able to feel grateful for that. It can't all just be about what your body looks like, because you are not just what your body looks like. And it's impossible to get better as, you know, in your physique. It's impossible to grow more muscle without adding a little bit of fat. And you just have to come to terms with that. But in terms of my personal perspective right now, excuse me, which I mentioned that I would talk about, this is the most excited I have ever been to grow, ever in my whole life. Like, oh my gosh. And I think that's coming from, one, I dieted for a really long time, and I mentioned a couple of videos ago that, you know, like towards the end I just started to feel scrawny, and I hated saying that because I felt like that was hating on my body. There were times, like, I was still really confident in my body, don't get me wrong, especially like on stage, because that's, you know, what it takes to be on stage. That's the look that it took to be on stage at nationals and to place and everything. But I felt scrawny, I felt really, really small, and it just, I was like, then. So that makes me really excited to grow. And just another thing, I know, and this is part of my irrefutable post that I made the other day on Instagram, but that'll be a whole nother like series type thing. But I know that I am building my pro physique, that the next time I step on stage, they will not be able to question me. And this growing period right now is necessary for that. If I want to be irrefutable, if I want to be a clear-cut pro physique next time I get on stage at a national level, this period has to happen. This growing season has to happen. I have to gain weight. I have to eat more food. I have to get better. And that makes me, as an athlete, so freaking stoked. Like, oh! And I'm just really excited to have a bigger butt. Like, let's be honest. Let's be real here.
My question is, do you use any different supplements during your growing season as opposed to show season? And if so, like, what supplements are they?
Different supplements during my growing season? Not really, no. So I'm very like minimal supplement takey. I use protein powder. I count that more as of like a macro source than a supplement. But I like it. I use PE Science protein powder. Creatine, whatever, stays in year round. Let's see, fish oil stays in year round. Now with fish oil, you don't need to mega dose fish oil. I take 2 teaspoons of my personal kind that I use, which is just like the Vitamin Shop, per day. Then I use high volume and alphamine, and that's it. That's really it. And it doesn't change during the growing period, because what's changing is my food intake. You know, increasing food is more than enough to increase. What am I saying? Increasing food is more than enough. Like, I mean, it's not more than enough, it's what you have to do, but increasing food is enough. You don't need to add in a bunch of crazy supplements during your off season versus your prep season. At least that's my personal approach.
Emily, so my question for you is, do you think that it is necessary to gain extra fat while growing? Love you.
channel. I would just want to ask, are you going to be like straight bulking, or are you reverse dieting into adding more calories?
Okay, so reverse dieting versus bulking. I'm going to take bulking, hello dogs, in this sense to mean just jumping into a surplus right off the bat, whereas a reverse diet I'm taking to mean more of, just to add some context to the situation, reverse diet being more of slowly adding in food to kind of minimize, I guess is the best word, fat gain, unwanted fat gain. At least you're going to have to gain some fat in the process. I am taking more of a reverse diet approach. I'm guessing it will be a bit more apprehensive than past reverse diet just because I did diet for so long. So Nick has described my systems right now as volatile. So things do need to be a little bit more apprehensive right now and a little bit more strict. Right now, like I mentioned before, I'm not taking free meals right now. I don't have refeeds right now. We're just trying to slowly work food back in, and that's generally what a reverse diet does. So I am taking more of a reverse diet approach. I am also a pretty easy gainer, so I don't need to go like the full bulk route. Like, I don't need that. And I would say as a general consensus, females, at least bikini competitors, if you're staying in your division, and just to optimize, you know, adding tissue, quality tissue versus fat, I would say that a reverse diet is a much better route to pursue as opposed to just a full-on bulk.
Hi Emily, what's your favorite food for growing season?
Okay, this will be my last question that I answer, just a fun little question. My favorite food for growing season, if it's tracked, I would say, I mean, I guess I could track like froyo and sushi if I really wanted to, but my favorite meal that I make, I guess would be a better way to put it, is just giant bowls of oats or cream of rice or cream of wheat, just big ones, just dense, thick, oh, so good. And then my favorite untracked meal during growing season, it's the same when I'm not in growing season, but sushi and froyo, because combo of peace, meal of peace, like, yes, that's my favorite. So I'm gonna wrap up the Snapchat Q&A there. Thanks for watching. I don't know if this will be the end of the video, so if it is, I'll see you in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. I love you. Bye. But if it's not, you'll see me in the next clip. Alright, light is bad here, but I lied, I'm not done. I'm going to Chipotle. So, I'm going to show you guys, probably once I get back home, because I'm going to make it at home with my familia, but just how I get it and how I track it and everything, because I do still have to track it today. So, Chipotle for the first time in like over 8 months. I'm so excited, oh my gosh. Yes, oh yes, oh yes. Alright, so I think I'm going to just include the how to track it and weigh it and everything in a separate video because this video is already going to be really long, but I'm reunited with Chipotle. And just pro tip, and I am putting this in the video for tracking it, but if you don't have the carbs for rice, add riced cauliflower, just like cauliflower crumbles from Target, and it's like fake rice, and then you're happy. So I think I'm going to cut the video here for today. My aunt actually came over, so I'm going to eat this, hang out with the family, and eat this, start editing this, and that's it. So if you guys enjoyed this video, if you want more Snapchat Q&As, if you want more like tracking tips, I guess, then please like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And there will be details about the 30K giveaway coming soon. I'm sorry, I'm always so late on giveaways, but anyway, that will be coming soon. I'm getting stuff together for that. And yeah, thank you for joining me. I'll see you in the next one, and I love you so much. Bye!